walking around with Jonathan Cho's address on a sign in real time on the college campus. Hundreds of Antifa members. Hundreds. And they have Jonathan Cho's address, who he's just a reporter. Like, he's not an activist. He's not an extremist. He's a reporter. He covers a lot of Antifa stuff, so they don't like him. But they tell him, hey, Cho, we know where you live. And this is all caught on video.
Are you from here?
Oh, it's Jonathan Cho? Johnny.
We know where you live, buddy.
Jonathan Cho lives?
Oh, it's not on this one. We bought the wrong one. It's 1-6.
Jonathan Cho. Johnny. Little baby boy Johnny.
Why do you guys always travel in packs, huh? Never one-on-one?
Oh, we have comrades. We have friends unlike you, Jonathan.
All soy boys.
Jonathan has nerves of steel. You know, he's staring down a pack of Antifa members, and they're like, hey, Jonathan, we know where you live. Gosh, that's got to be nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
They're literally holding up signs. So I'm in chats with some Turning Point USA guys, and we're seeing photos come through from the protest. And I had to make the note to one of them, hey, before you post any of those photos, blur Jonathan's address, because it's front and center with all these Antifa members.
Oh, gosh. These are grown adults, by the way, not even students.
White supremacists. Give me a break.
Not even students. They have no jobs. Instead, they're at the quad hanging out with students. Losers.
They call Jonathan a white supremacist. Also, he's Asian.
What are you doing, brother?
I'm working, bro.
You're working. Getting that drip dollar?
Man, this is what I have to do.
So it quickly became chaotic. You know, I mentioned on the Amigos, there's a point during these protests where it's just 4 Antifa members, right? Just 4. And the frat boys are kind of poking and prodding, challenging them to push-up contests there as everything's going on. And I was like, okay, maybe this was a miss, right? Maybe this isn't going to be as bad as we thought it would be. But no, the numbers kept increasing as the day went on, and violence did ensue. Jonathan Cho broke down the scene in real time as he was watching, more and more Antifa arrive.
Let me give you the lay of the land right now. You got the Charlie Kirk event right here.
I got another fan. You want to come on up?
And then just
We've got another question.
a few feet away, you got these Antifa militants, these losers, to call in reinforcements.
I said I looked up enough about it to figure out the sign to make. I stopped.
So they're literally feet away from the Charlie Kirk event. This is before the actual event kicked off. Kirk was doing a tabling event, Ask Me Anything, where he kind of, challenges people and ideas and has a dialogue, which is what you need on college campuses. I know, shocker, dialogue on college campuses. But it quickly escalated into violence. Jonathan Cho was assaulted by Antifa members. His security was assaulted by Antifa members, and they were bloodied by Antifa members. This is before even all the numbers of Antifa showed up.
Wow, look at how many Antifa.
There's a scuffle.
Okay, now we got a real fight.
Cho is fighting with Antifa members. His security's fighting with them. And then Cho gets away, and he starts to flee. That's my favorite part. So Cho is running away from an Antifa member. He's escaped this fight. His security is still being assaulted. The security is a big guy, and he's bloodied up. This is the nerves of steel of Jonathan Cho. Antifa is holding up signs with his address, and he gets into a scuffle with Antifa. He's being chased by Antifa, and at that moment, he decides to turn around and mock them and say, "Come on, fat boy, keep up."
Come on, fat boy!
Oh my gosh!
Can you imagine? Like I'd be more worried about my safety and getting away without being assaulted or bludgeoned. And he takes the time to look over his left shoulder and say, "Come on, fat boy."
To have the wherewithal to even trash talk at that point.
Nerves of steel. Nerves of steel. Morgan McMichael was there. She's watching the protests unfold. She's steps away from fights and everything that's going on between Antifa protesters and the conservative counter protesters, if you will. And I mean, I remember I texted her a couple times, like, just stay safe. Like, no footage is worth your safety. Get the hell out of there if you have to. And she's going to be joining us to kind of talk about the breakdown, what she saw on the ground, what that's like. This mob of Antifa started at like 4 people and swelled to at least 100. It seemed nerve-wracking. And I can only imagine for somebody like Morgan, who's early 20s, 5 foot nothing, small, tiny girl. You have to be terrified, right? So we're going to ask her all those questions. We're going to ask her how the event unfolded, what the violence looked like, and what the feeling on the ground was during that time. Because I think it's important. Like, not many people are going to have a bird's eye view into what those protests and the violence looks like. I pray that you never have to deal with it. I pray that we never deal with it in Tennessee. I know we've had Antifa in Tennessee, and I think that's what Anthony wants to talk about right now. He's on the line. Anthony, you're on Super Talk. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Yeah, that reporter has some serious cojones, if you will.
Yeah, Jonathan Cho.
He should do what our mainstream media reporters should. He's doing what they should be doing, if you will. But
yep.
what I wanted to talk about was the straight up audacity of breaking the law. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to plot someone's phone number or pretty much doxing somebody. Is it not?
Yeah, it is. Not only was it wasn't just his phone number, it was quite literally the address to his home. And I'm in these chats with my Turning Point friends, and they're showing me pictures from the protests. And I'm like, before you post that on the internet, like, you have to blur Cho's address.
Yeah, that's insane. And I just was kind of curious. I don't know how often it was here in Tennessee that we had Antifa here, but I don't know if it was as big as it was there. But I'm not a reporter, so I'm not antagonizing them, but I do have a handgun. And part of me was like, I don't know if Joe has them or not, but I would imagine the security guard didn't at that time. But I would have more likely been able to, would have been willing to shoot one of them at that point if you started crowding me like that. Because I'm like, first of all, you just surrounded me, and you all are crazy lunatics. Secondly, you threatened me with my address. And I also would have said, I want you to show up at my house. Please do, because that would have been a nice little conversation there with the firearm of my choice and you and the door being met there together, But
yeah, I mean, so with the protest taking place on a college campus, I don't think anybody was armed, right? It's in Washington, so I'm sure the gun laws are far stricter than what we have here in Middle Tennessee, and I don't know what their domain laws are like or stand your ground laws are like off the top of my head. I can look them up, but I don't think that they're as conservative with that kind of stuff as we are.
They're just very defenseless, aren't they? That's insane. This guy, one of those members, literally just effectively threatened this guy, and they're like, "No, you can't defend yourself." They didn't just to rant on that.
They didn't just threaten him; they physically assaulted him and his security. His security was bloodied up.
Yeah, the DOJ and the FBI are an absolute sham of an institution, and they need to go.
Well, to be fair, they're busy investigating Catholics and parents that show up to school board meetings. Right. So it's like they have a full plate.
They have more serious pressing concerns to deal with at this time.
Yeah, 100%. And, all these protesters are funded by the Democrats' biggest donors. All the money can be traced back to Soros, to Pritzker, to Gates. The list goes on. That's who's funding these protests.
Absolutely disgusting. But thank you for letting me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, Anthony, I appreciate you calling in, man. Anytime. Yeah, it was quite the scene. It was quite the scene outside of University of Washington last night. I'm really looking forward to talking with Morgan. I didn't talk to her after, because, time change, right? So I'm texting with them. It's like 10, 11 o'clock. So I never got a full recap on what happened after the fact because they were all pretty much prepping themselves for a violent scene. And as sad as it is, if you're going to any of these college protests and the sun goes down, you should be prepping yourself for a violent scene. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings. I don't know why any parents would let their kids anywhere near these protests. I would drag my kids home by the ear if they were at these protests. That's just me. But after Jonathan Cho is assaulted and his security is assaulted, they do call the police.
The moment administration knows this is happening, this gets broken up.
The administration knows this is happening. For a week, brother.
No violence. Hey, Miss Shasti Conrad, look at all the violence. You said there's no violence. You okay? We should call the cops. Umbrellas, right there. You see that one broken umbrella? Whole mob there. That whole mob. Multiple witnesses. I'm just trying to be a journalist. I mean, we're trying to cover this event, and you have outside agitators like Antifa who are 40 years old, losers with no jobs.
So they reported the incident to police. Are we going to hold our breath and think that there's going to be arrests for the assault on Jonathan Cho and the assault on his security staff? I won't. I doubt we're going to see anything like that. As they're talking to police, the Antifa members are just standing a few feet away. I didn't see any footage of arrests. And as Cho is on the ground, Jonathan Cho, I would imagine that you would have seen the footage. I retweeted a bunch of this. If you want to see the actual footage of Cho being assaulted, because I know it doesn't really translate on the air as you just hear the scuffle. I really only played the footage of the scuffle because of the one point where Jonathan Cho says, because I think that's funny. If you want to see the actual footage, you can go to my Twitter page at Chris Hand on Air. I retweeted all the footage for you to find, and then follow Jonathan Cho because he's on the ground there in the worst coast over on the left coast, and he covers this stuff all the time. He's a great journalist. It's 9:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I got to tell you about my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Listen, I tell you all the time, you got to get your maintenance. Got to do it, because if you don't, you're waiting for a problem to pop up. And I didn't follow my own advice. And I found myself with a problem with my upstairs AC unit. And I was like, oh gosh, I got to call Busy Bee. And I had been ignoring the text. When you're a Beehive member, they text you and they'll say, hey, it's time for your maintenance. So I had been ignoring it. So I was already embarrassed. They came in. They said, had you got your maintenance, you wouldn't have had to deal with this, because it was dirty coils, and that's like step one on the maintenance, cleaning those coils. I was ashamed. Don't be like me. Get your annual maintenance done so you don't have a problem popping up with your AC this time of year. And maybe you need to replace your AC. You've been kicking the can down the road because it went out at the end of last season. Well, those temperatures are going to be getting hot and staying there. Have you felt the heat and the humidity and the stickiness in the air? It's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. If you need to replace that AC unit, you're definitely feeling that inside your house. Call my friends at Busy Bee. You're not going to find a better value on replacement systems. They offer up to 12 months with no payment, no interest with approved credit, and it'll pay in so many ways to become a Beehive member for just $99. That's it. You'll get your thorough annual maintenance on your plumbing, heating, and air systems. You'll get no overtime charges 24/7, whether it's a holiday, long weekend, you name it, they're coming. No overtime or holiday charges, and 10% off all repairs. It will pay for itself to be a Beehive member. Plus, they'll always come see you on Saturday for those convenient availability hours. Busy Bee, they're your Rude Pro partner for satisfaction guaranteed. Just call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833, or online at busybeehvac.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
Got a crash, Murfreesboro Pike at Edgehill Lake Drive here in Nashville, the Priest Lake area. Flash flood warning now until 11:45 for northern Davidson County, northeastern Cheatham County, east central Montgomery County, Robertson County, Sumner County, and western Trousdale County. And then a new development in former President Trump's effort to boot Fulton County DA Fani Willis off that GA election interference case, coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. So we were talking about Jonathan Cho, the reporter who was assaulted by Antifa last night at University of Washington. I said, the you know what of steel that this guy has. And I wanted to point out, remember at Columbia, they took over Hamilton Hall, and there was the talk that there were janitors that were trapped in the building as they were taken over. One of the janitors spoke out. And I want to use this clip to kind of contrast how the bravery of Jonathan Cho, the reporter, who they're holding up his address, to the understanding of somebody who is terrified and doesn't want to be involved. This is what the janitor had to say after being held hostage at Columbia in Hamilton Hall. Oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry. There we go.
I know they're funded by someone. You know they're funded by someone. People know that they're funded. We figured that out when we saw all the same color tents, and then it came out in the news that NYU has the same color tents. Someone's funding them. We found out who this paid agitator is. He's worth millions. I'm not, right? So someone's got deep pockets. I don't want to piss people off. I'm easy to find. You can find me. My name is out. You can find me. I'm sure you can. If they have that kind of money, they can find me if they want to. So I don't want to touch that situation at all.
He doesn't want to touch that situation at all. You can hear like he's terrified. Can you blame him? When you know the big money is funding these protests, from George Soros to Bill Gates to the Pritzkers, and you know where the money's coming from, can you blame him for being a little terrified and not wanting to be involved at all? I don't blame him one bit, but I want to use that to contrast the absolute bravery of that reporter, Jonathan Cho, who is standing right in the face of Antifa as they assault him and hold up a sign with his address on it for all of the Antifa members to see. Like, he's got to go home to that address that night, and he's still out there doing that hard work. So shout out to Cho. Find that video of him being assaulted by Antifa on my Twitter page, at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
"9:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash now 24 westbound at Hickory Hollow Parkway in Antioch, and then 65 southbound at the Springfield White House exit. That's in Robertson County. Flash flood warning until 11:45 for northern Davidson County, northeastern Cheatham County, east central Montgomery County, Robertson County, Sumner County, and Trousdale County. All forms of severe weather on the table today, including tornadoes, and that threat's going to stretch into tonight and early tomorrow morning. The National Weather Service says 46% of tornadoes in Tennessee are at night, which is one reason Tennessee is third in the nation for having the most tornado deaths. And in Georgia, an appeals court has agreed to take up former President Trump's appeal of the Fani Willis disqualification ruling. It's a move that could possibly delay the case against the former president. And that's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Ken Weaver in the newsroom monitoring the weather. Should severe weather become something that we need to deal with and it's immediate, we'll have it for you first. We'll break into whatever we're talking about and we will cover it because honestly, your safety is far more important than any of the garbage going on, whether it's in D.C. or Portland or anywhere in between. Seriously. So we'll keep you posted on the weather. We have everybody monitoring it. Mac is back today. He was out yesterday. You were watching Jamaican bobsledding?
Yep, it's Jamaican bobsledding. Yep. Underwater hockey's on Thursdays, but Jamaican bobsledding, yep.
Underwater hockey?
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Dude. That might make me miss a day of work. Tell you what. So you're a big sports guy, right?
Of course, for sure.
Did you see the Jason Whitlock, Antonio Brown interview?
I did not.
Have you heard about it at all?
No. Why is Whitlock interviewing Antonio Brown?
You didn't hear anything about it?
This is crazy. No.
Yeah, so he's interviewing Antonio Brown. Jason Whitlock's great. He's like non-woke sports. He's everything I wish your sports podcast would be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you
That's very nice.
Do you have a new episode of Under the Box Score coming?
This week. Behind the box score this week.
Will you be detailing the intricacies of underwater hockey?
Yep. Yeah, yes,
right,
of course.
Perfect. I mean, that's the stuff we don't get on the Whitlock podcast. So he's got Jason Whitlock has Antonio Brown on. And this is there's something beautiful about this interview. We're seeing celebrities turn away from the Democrats en masse. And this interview with Jason Whitlock is poetry. Oh, hold on.
Not a fan of Joe Biden or what?
Nah, I like Donald Trump. I seen Joe Biden online. He was shitting on himself and like falling all over. I'm like, yo, what's going on with him?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's how it started. That's how it started. That was what 11 seconds into politics.
Nah, I like Donald Trump. I seen Joe Biden online. He was shitting on himself and like falling all over. I'm like, yo, what's going on with him?
What is going on?
He got teleprompters everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, I got a good political opinion, but you know what I'm saying? I want the world to be a better place. I feel like we probably could do better with Trump helping more businesses and like coming back and taking over the 2024.
Now, listen, I don't think Antonio Brown is like the smartest guy.
Okay. Can we provide some context here, please? Please, Chris. Come on.
I don't think he's
this guy's a nut job. Nutcase. Serious criminal allegations.
But this is the thing that I think is so beautiful about it. Even the nut jobs can see what time it is.
100%. Just want to paint the picture
here.
here.
The choice is absolutely clear.
So you think Biden pooped his pants on that other video?
That's what the video showed. He was looking real like, I know we all make mistakes. I mean, you shitted yourself before, right?
Actually, I have, but go ahead.
Damn.
It's not where I expected the interview to go.
Where is this guy?
I love the we all make mistakes.
I know we all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes. I don't know. Here's the thing that I think is the wildest part about this. I don't know which alleged pooping incident he's talking about. Is he talking about the time with the Pope where he came back wearing different pants?
Yeah, that could be it.
Is he talking about when he like was walking and he does the toddler stall? You know what I mean?
Oh, I just saw that one, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Because Biden does that all the time. And we all know, you'll know, you're going to have kids soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
The stare at you, the clinch, the stare.
The stare,
yeah, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, Biden does that all the time. It's embarrassing that I don't know which incident he's referring to.
I know we all make mistakes.
I know we all make mistakes. I mean, you shitted yourself before, right?
Actually, I have, but go ahead.
Listen. We've all made that mistake.
It's happened to the best of us.
It's happened to the best of us. I don't know what's going on in America. I don't.
That is so.
I really don't.
This CTESPN right here.
He said it's CTESPN.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah.
That's his trademark.
Yeah.
That's a message for you right there. But yeah, I just feel like, as a country, we need to do a better job of, what I'm saying, with everything that's been going, the pandemic, the shots, everything that's been going.
Have you met Trump or you want to meet Trump?
I met him on the phone before I talked to him on the phone with Tom Brady one time. Yeah, he seemed like a cool guy.
You think Brady likes Trump, but he just can't admit it?
Yeah, he probably definitely like a candidate.
He says, you think Brady likes Trump? You just can't admit it? Well, we all know the stories of Brady having the MAGA hat, right?
Yep.
Of course Brady likes Trump. But he says he just can't admit it. And I think that this is an important point. We're seeing the change where people can admit it now, right? Brady might still be a little bit nervous because The Rock came out and said he wasn't going to endorse Joe Biden, and then we had hit pieces on The Rock, right? So not everybody is confident enough, brave enough to come out and say, yeah, I'm with Trump. But we're seeing it shift. We're absolutely seeing it shift. And you see it with like songs like Afro Man, Hunter Got High.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see that Trump commented on that?
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a great song. Great song. There was a guy doing do you ever watch the reaction videos online?
Oh,
like
yeah,
on
yeah.
It's like a niche industry on YouTube where I don't know if anybody has seen these where people react to videos and they pay attention, they break it down, they break down the video, what's happening, this and that. There was a black live streamer breaking down the video of Afro Man, and it's like he doesn't sound like he's a huge Trump fan, but he's definitely not a Biden fan.
Guys, does everyone hate Joe Biden?
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan.
Well, can we isolate that for the hotkey?
I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan.
That's gold. That's gold. Yes.
That's gold. We can use that one.
Yes.
I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan. I have absolutely not been a fan of Crime Bill Biden, bro. No, thank you. Right? Never. Didn't matter. Nothing could fix my absolute disdain for Joe Biden. Nothing can fix it. Don't like him. Nothing can fix it. I apologize.
Nothing's going to fix that. We're seeing a lot of people come around, right? Don't you think? I'm waiting for the ladies on The View to come around. Do you think that they'll come around? Do you think the ladies on The View one day will be like, listen, we all make mistakes.
I'd pack your patience on that one.
What do you think I should pack my patience on it? All right. Yeah, I mean, did you hear what the View was talking about yesterday?
Usually no is the answer to that on The View. Usually the answer is no.
No, I didn't. That's right. You were watching underwater hockey.
That's true. Come on, man.
Well, the View, they want Trump in jail. Sonny Hostin said she wants him to be taught a lesson.
I'm sort of conflicted about whether or not he should be held in contempt and he's already been held in contempt, but put in jail for it. But I do think that 71% of Americans have said that he should be put in jail if he is convicted. The other thing I will say, we all saw, many of us are old enough to have seen the OJ case. Yeah. I remember how Judge Ito lost complete control of the courtroom, and I think that had a lot to do with the win. You cannot let Donald Trump be a runaway train in that courtroom. No. It's not his courtroom. It's the judge's courtroom. And so I think to make a point, to prove a point, put him in the clink. Why not? Put him in the clink.
Put him in the clink. I don't think these ladies understand how much that would backfire on them. It would absolutely backfire on them. Everybody already thinks that these are politically motivated charges because, spoiler alert, they are. And Whoopi chimes in. You know what Whoopi wants to know? Whoopi wants to know which prison.
I don't want this to sound like I'm doing wishful thinking.
Yes.
But which...
Do you hear the cackle in the background?
Like, so much cackling.
The audience loves these ladies way too much. It wasn't even that funny. Do you think you get paid to be in that audience?
But which prison would be best?
I know which one.
I'm going to give you Michael. Well, that's what I got. Number one is Rikers. But, you know, I'm okay if he goes to Alcatraz and they reopen it.
Oh, maybe.
You think Mac? So if you're watching on Super Talk TV, maybe you saw Mac say that he mouthed Rikers.
Rikers?
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. You want to know something funny?
Whoa.
Not even the most radical option Whoopi came up with.
You know, what about Guantanamo Bay?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, well, that'd be close to Mar-a-Lago. Melania can come and visit.
That's right. What about Supermax? Supermax would be interesting. El Chapo was in Supermax. Now he wants to be with the hip people. Come on.
Yeah.
El Chapo was in Supermax, so yeah, it'd be like Trump sitting next to El Chapo. Like, what'd you do? It's like, oh, I was the world's most notorious drug dealer. I brought hippos to South America. Yeah. They're running wild, and I would sell copious amounts of narcotics. What about you? I tweeted something mean about a judge one time. So, oh, crap.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. Guards, get me away from this madman. You know, the Rikers thing, though, is it's actually being discussed. Mayor Eric Adams was asked about Trump going to Rikers.
Wow.
To be held in contempt. And you know what Mayor Eric Adams said? He said, we're ready.
Hey, Mayor. So at President Trump's trial, they were talking about how he might end up in jail if he continues to violate these court orders. Is Rikers prepared for that? Do you guys have those discussions yet? And if so, what would that even look like?
Our amazing commissioner, she is prepared for whatever comes on Rikers Island. I'm pretty sure she would be prepared to manage and deal with the situation. As you see what's happening with Harvey Weinstein. We have to adjust, in this business, particularly around law enforcement, we have to adjust whatever comes our way, but, we don't want to deal with a hypothetical, but they're professionals. They'll be ready.
They're ready for Trump at Rikers Island, according to Mayor Eric Adams. What? I listen, I keep saying I want this to happen, but I don't, in the back of my mind, I don't think it's actually going to happen. But I hope it does. I hope it does.
Give me a percentage.
18%.
That it does?
That it does.
It does. Okay.
Is that too high?
Feels a right ballpark, yeah.
I mean, they keep holding him in contempt. And he keeps tweeting or truthing. Posting, truthing.
Truthing's good.
Truth post.
Post truth.
He's still violating the gag order, but he's doing it in creative ways. I'll tell you what Trump is doing to kind of, throw up a finger to the gag order while not violating the gag order next. Hang out with us. It's 9:51 on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Flash flood warning now for a large part of northern Middle Tennessee, including Davidson County, and new developments in former President Trump's efforts to boot the Fulton County DA off the Georgia election interference case. Coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So Trump, they want him to go to jail for violating the gag order. And he's found creative ways to violate the gag order without violating the gag order. Yesterday, outside of the courtroom, he brought a stack of papers. I love it. He's using the media's own headlines and quotes to circumvent the gag order. So he can't talk about the case, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, so-and-so from Fox News said this. So-and-so from ABC said this. Oh, and he's right, by the way.
Some of the statements made about this witch hunt on CNN, fake news CNN, Michael Moore said the proof of falsifying records has not been accomplished. On Good Morning America, they said, we heard that expense payments to lawyers are legal expenses. You pay a lawyer expense payments. We didn't put it down as construction costs, the purchase of sheetrock, the electrical cost. The legal expense that we paid was put down as legal expense.
Weird.
There's nothing else you could say. You don't have to put down anything, I guess. But we put down legal expense was legal expense. Is that a correct statement, Mr. Attorney?
He says, is that correct, Mr. Attorney? He says, yes. And he keeps, he has a stack of papers. And he keeps he's like, oh, by the way, got another one here.
Also, NBC Today showed the challenges that there is no smoking gun, no email or tape to prove the president's intent. They don't have a way to prove that. That's NBC Today show. And then Fox News, Katie Cherkasky, said that the gag order is unconstitutional, which of course it is. The gag order is unconstitutional.
And I love that Trump is finding creative ways to skirt that gag order. Gag order be damned. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ten o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Most of the rain still north of I-40, but that is where we have the flash flood warning for northern Davidson County, northeastern Cheatham County, east central Montgomery County, Robertson County, Sumner County, western Trousdale County, all under a flash flood warning until 11:45 this morning. All forms of severe weather on the table today, including tornadoes. The threat's going to stretch into tonight. National Weather Service says 46% of tornadoes in Tennessee are at night. And that's one reason Tennessee is third in the nation for having the most tornado deaths. More than 40 tornadoes have been reported in 2 days across 11 states. Here's Alex Brachet on the scene of a heavily damaged FedEx shipping center near Kalamazoo, Michigan.
It looks like it was peeled off like a tin can. Some 50 employees trapped inside when this storm rolled through yesterday. Thankfully, FedEx saying today that none of them had serious injuries. But right now, they're doing a damage assessment.
At least one person has died in a tornado in Oklahoma. There's still one person missing there in Oklahoma as well. Right now in Georgia, Stephen Portnoy with the new developments in the election interference case against former President Trump. State of Appeals Court keeping alive Trump's efforts to boot the Fulton County DA off the case.
The Georgia Appellate Court's willingness to take up this argument means, if nothing else, the Fulton County case will probably be significantly delayed. Donald Trump has argued DA Fani Willis should be disqualified from the case for having a relationship with an attorney she hired to join her team. Judge Scott McAfee ruled that Willis could stay on the case as long as that lawyer Nathan Wade did not. A Trump appeal of that decision has now been greenlit.
That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. Hey, it's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock store. The open house is going to be here before we know it, June 1st. It's coming up so fast. The 4th annual open house, again, June 1st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We want you to be there. Where else are you going to be able to go where they're giving away over $10,000 worth of incredible prizes? Prizes like Red Dot Optics, Tritium-powered night sights, weapon lights with lasers from Nightstick, pistol and rifle bags from Saviors. And the raffle list, it keeps growing and growing and growing. They're serious about giving away some amazing prizes. And it's not just giveaways. You can win some of these prizes. The nightstick low light, no light competition, that's backed by popular demand. There's going to be hourly prizes for the top score for that. The fast and accurate competition is back as well. And the top prize for that, the top shooter, wins a Glock 19 all dressed up to show your Tennessee pride. And maybe you're not up to the task of winning a shooting competition yet. Well, you're in the right place at the Glock store for the open house. That way you can sign up for some training. So that way, come the 5th open house, you'll be able to win. But if you can't win those competitions yet, just enter to win a Glock store customized Glock worth $1,700. You only need to be there to enter, not even to win. I saw the rotating billboard on my way into work as we come up 24, and I finally got my eyes on the custom Glock that they're giving away. Have you seen that on the billboard yet? Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. And again, you only need to be there to enter, not to win. Plus, I'll be there. Murphy's going to be there. Mandis is going to be there, hanging out, having the best time. June 1st, 10 to 2 at the one and only Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially for the open house on June 1st. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're keeping an eye on severe weather today in Middle Tennessee. Should anything come into our listening area, we're going to have updates for you. We'll break into coverage. We have Mac monitoring weather. Ken's in the newsroom monitoring weather. And again, should anything become dangerous for you, we will have it here first. Thank you for making us part of your day. Don't forget, you can listen to us wherever you go. Should you be away from a radio, you can get us on your phone, on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, all the things. Plus, follow 99.7 WTN on Twitter for updates. I'm at Chris Hand on air for updates, and we'll keep you posted as severe weather moves through the area. Praying that nothing comes of it, but should something happen, we're here and we are ready. So I just want to let you guys know that. Again, hopefully it's nothing. The Stormy Daniels was on the stand yesterday. Did you hear about Stormy Daniels on the stand? Apparently, during her testimony, they said that she was trying to tell jokes, and she came in prepped with lines. And this isn't even this isn't my takeaway. This is CNN's takeaway.
Jurors, Casey?
Just one thing that I've been sort of noticing as this has gone on is that there have been a couple times where she seems to be cracking a joke, trying to get a reaction from the jury, and our reporters in the room have noted that the jury hasn't seemed to respond
No, they're
to
taking
that.
their job seriously.
I mean, what do you make of that?
Humor is risky in the courtroom, especially if you go in with lines, like it looks like Stormy. If something happens spontaneously, if an easel falls over, people will laugh. They're human, but it's never going to work. If you go in there like, I'm going to amuse the jury, I'm going to sort of say this clever thing.
No, I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work. And in the CNN panel, they said when you go in with lines, like she had a script, like she was prepped and she was ready to go. The New York Times' Maggie Haberman reported one of Trump's attorneys, Todd Blanche, he argued that Daniels' testimony was overly prejudicial and that the government was asking questions to inflame the jury. Blanche contended that Daniel's story has evolved and that the jury also heard inappropriate details about her alleged sexual encounter with Trump. Could you imagine if cameras were in the courtroom? I wish they were, just for the audio that we could have gotten from that testimony. Blanche said Daniel's testimony on Tuesday was about consent and danger and said that was not the story she was selling in 2016. Blanche also said that Daniels is testifying about consent and said that kind of testimony makes it impossible to come back from. Blanche said the defense objected as best we could, but she was able to say what she said. The attorney for Trump, Blanche, questioned how the defense could come back from this in a way that could be fair to former President Trump. We believe there should be a mistrial, he said, or that this witness testimony is excluded and extremely limited. I understand, like, wanting to exclude the testimony, but, like, the cat's already out of the bag, right? Like, the jury can't just wipe something from their mind. In a post on Twitter, Daily Caller court reporter Caitlin Richardson, she quoted Blanche as saying, "The guardrails for this witness answering questions from the government were just thrown to the side." In a response, the prosecutor, Susan Hoffinger, claimed that the state was extremely mindful of not eliciting too much testimony. Merchant said Daniel's testimony had too much detail, but denied the motion for a mistrial per The Hill. He did reportedly put restrictions on how the jury will be able to use her testimony. It's fascinating to watch, and they're saying that they were surprised there weren't more objections. But as the New York Times reporter writes, Trump's defense attorney, Susan Nichols, said that the defense team moved to strike so much of this beforehand, and Merchant still let it in. Isn't that fascinating? They moved to strike it already, and Merchant let it in. Why would Merchant let it in? I don't know. I did find a story here, though, that Judge Merchant's daughter has taken in over $500,000 in 2024 from Arizona Dems and Gretchen Whitmer's super PAC. That's interesting, right? I think it's interesting. Lauren Merchant, she's the daughter of Judge Juan Merchant. He's overseeing the falsified business records trial against Trump, the hush money trial of the century, if you will. And the daughter, Lauren Merchant, has reportedly received over $500,000 from Soros-linked Democrat groups in the 2024 election season. Couldn't be any conflict of interest there, right? Lauren Merchant, she's the president of Authentic Campaigns, which has been contracted by the Arizona Democratic Party and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer's Fight Like Hell PAC as a vendor, as reported by investigative journalist Laura Loomer. Authentic Campaign touts itself as an award-winning agency that campaigns and nonprofits trust to help them change the world. I think it's actually quite funny that the name of her of who she works for is Authentic Campaigns, and they work for Democrats. Is there anything authentic about the Dems currently? Authentic Campaign has been paid $412,000 by Whitmer's PAC and around $160K from the Arizona Democratic Party. The agency works for abortion advocacy, Democrat politicians, the Immigrant Justice Fund, Joe Biden, and the UN Populations Fund, among others. And the most recent payment from Whitmer's PAC was on March 26th, while the most recent payment from the Arizona Democratic Party was on March 15th. Arizona and Michigan, obviously, two huge states in the 2024 election. Can't be overstated how important they are. And Alex Soros, the son of George Soros, has met with both Whitmer and Arizona Democrat candidates last week, including Senator Mark Kelly. They also met with former Biden UN envoy Cindy McCain. And this is who Lauren Merchant's company is receiving money from. She also actually received around $4 million from Adam Schiff between January 1st, 2019 and December 21st, 2020, when Schiff was first leading the first impeachment effort against Trump. So she gets a lot of money from a lot of shady Democrats, doesn't she? Schiff still is a client of Lauren Merchant and has paid her business more than $10 million in his campaign to take over Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat, with some donation seeking emails citing the document case. No conflict of interest, though, right? Nah, I wouldn't read too much into it. I wouldn't read anything. Yeah, don't even worry about it. You probably should just stop talking about it, right? It's probably safer for everybody. Fascinating stuff. Also, the Trump trial with Jack Smith. Did you hear about that?
Jack Smith.
Indefinitely postponed.
Wow. Not
going to happen before the election. This is a huge win for Trump. And their strategy is playing out, delay, right? That's the strategy. CNN realizing that the Jack Smith case won't happen before the election was absolute poetry.
But also we should note Special Counsel Jack Smith really has voiced some serious concerns, if not animus, toward this judge.
Yeah, absolutely. And there may come a time when he tries to get her removed from the case. But at this point, that's premature. What Jack Smith knows tonight, though, is that it's very possible that he may not be able to bring either one of his federal cases against former President Trump before the election. And the election is a significant point on the calendar because if Trump is reelected, he can have Jack Smith and both of his cases dismissed.
This is when the meltdown ensues. This is when the left-wing establishment media, the Democrat hacks realize time is running out.
Now, here, this case, the classified documents case, postponed indefinitely. But the other prosecution that Smith has brought, the January 6th case, also on ice while the Supreme Court contemplates if Trump has presidential immunity. Now, in their arguments a couple weeks ago, they signaled that they're not likely to toss that case out, but they might toss it back down to the trial court for more litigation, which again, that's why it would make it impossible to bring before the November election. Obviously, we're here in Manhattan for this criminal case. The other one outstanding is the RICO case down in Georgia. But again, it goes back to the strategy of delay. By trying to have Fani Willis and Nathan Wade removed from the case, they successfully likely pushed that until late in this year. And it's very difficult, again, if Trump is reelected, to put him on trial down there. So this long game that they've been playing to try to delay everything, overall, has been successful. The one case that is going forward is what was always considered kind of the runt of the litter, the least consequential of the four. But it is still a historic case.
Yeah, wait for that pivot to happen. Oh, well, this is the least, the only one we could bring was the least consequential. The runt of the litter. That's going to be the pivot. Listen, this wasn't even the big case. The one that's the trial of the century, right? The one where the walls are closing in and we finally got him. Orange man bad, all the things. This isn't even the important one. They wouldn't even let us do the important cases. Wait for that pivot. Because they have to do something to demonize Trump, because more and more we see polls coming out. Another one dropped yesterday. Trump leads in Pennsylvania. They have to be terrified. They have to be. Did you hear what RFK did?
What's he up to?
RFK Jr. is, so Trump is speaking at the Libertarian Convention. RFK Jr. is also speaking at the Libertarian Convention. And RFK Jr. has challenged Trump to a debate. He says that the Libertarian Convention is perfect neutral territory for you and me to have a debate where you can defend your record for your wavering supporters. I mean, it's not going to happen. But that's the debate that I would rather see. I think that would be a much more fascinating debate than Trump-Biden. Because RFK can talk. RFK is, he's there. You know?
Oh, for sure.
He might be wacky and left and, Green New Deal, all those things, but he can discuss his points. But Trump won't do it. Why would Trump debate RFK Jr.? That to me is in the same line of like, why would Trump have gone and debated all of the other presidential candidates when it came to the Republican, the RNC debates? You can only get hurt.
Can I play devil's advocate here?
Play devil's, please.
Because you owe it to America. Because you owe it to the people.
Do you owe it to America to debate a fringe third-party candidate?
Maybe not. I mean, you back to the RNC, you owe it to debate your opponents, even if they're not really ever going to win. You owe it.
But it's
in my mind.
I hear where you're at, but in the Trump camp, the argument would be nothing good can come of this.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? Oh, so say you go out there and you mop the floor with RFK. Okay.
Yeah.
We still have a general against Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, even if you go out there and it's lights out and you crush it, okay, now let's focus on what we need to focus on. And the same was true with the RNC debates. I think what we really need is Trump v. Biden on the debate stage. And I would take Trump, Biden, RFK Jr.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that would be interesting.
I mean, RFK, fringe third-party candidate, but he is,
he's polling.
He's polling.
He's polling pretty good. Many conservatives have pointed out that RFK is not a conservative or a moderate alternative to Trump, but rather a far-left candidate competing with Biden over which one of them is further to the left. However, some are still attempting to position him as a viable alternative to Trump, despite his leftist record. The more you see polls, it's like there's no way that RFK Jr. is taking away votes from Trump. He's really hurting Biden. But he posted on Twitter, he said, RFK Jr. did, he said, I mean, it's a long post, but he said, "Dear President Trump, I'm grateful to you for calling attention to the rigged polling methodologies that biased DNC influenced media have used against you. We have this concern too, and I'm happy to show you the deceptive methodologies used by the DNC allied posters who pretend that I'm in single digits. You have correctly characterized these as fake polls." And then he goes over the poll numbers, and he closes with, "So let's meet at the Libertarian Convention and show the American public that at least two of the major candidates aren't afraid to debate each other. I asked the convention organizers, and they are game for us to use our time there to bring the American people the debate they deserve." I still say, had the Dems platformed RFK Jr. and said, that's our guy, we would be having such a different conversation as we head towards November. If the Dems candidate was RFK Jr. and we had Trump, it would be a lot more of a nail biter, I think, personally. Because at least the radical left would look and be like, okay, we can get behind this guy. Vote blue no matter who, but Biden can't talk, and as Antonio Brown said, we all make mistakes, right? It's 10:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Flash flood warning in effect for large part of northern Middle Tennessee, including Davidson County. Got former President Trump winning a further delay in the election interference case in Georgia. All this and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is 10:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We do have a chance of severe weather here today in Middle Tennessee. As these storms develop, we'll have the latest for you right here on Super Talk. Mac has been monitoring the radar. Ken is on top of it. We have the whole team standing by. Should anything get a little hairy out there, we'll have the latest for you here on WTN all day long. Stan in Nashville has been hanging on the line for a minute. Stan, thanks for holding, man. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, you was talking about creative ways to get around a gag order.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you who did it the best, and it was probably 20, 25 years ago. Y'all probably don't remember, but Jay Leno was in the Michael Jackson trials, and he was under a gag order. And every night on his Tonight Show, he would come out, he would rap the jokes about the trial, and he would come out, and then he would put his hand over his mouth and have one of his celebrity friends walk on stage and read the jokes.
That's hilarious. I did not know that.
Yeah, you can look it up on YouTube. It is funny.
I will. How do you get it? I feel like that would still get you in trouble, right?
It didn't for him.
All right, fair enough. Hey, I appreciate you holding, Stan. Thanks for sharing that. I'm also a little bit surprised on the Members Nutrition text line. A lot of people want a Trump RFK debate.
Yeah, same thing with the FNN Bank Chat.
Really?
Yep.
That's actually surprising to me. I mean, it would be entertaining TV. I just don't know how it would assist the Trump campaign. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it could hurt like any debate, but it could help.
Could it?
I think so.
I feel like everybody that's all in for Trump is already all in.
You don't think there's any people who are on the fence who voted for Trump, or maybe didn't vote for Trump, thinking about it, but also thinking about RFK? And if Trump goes and wipes the floor once, it's like, boom, all right, I'm done.
I don't know.
I got to believe there are, the way he's polling.
Yeah, maybe.
I imagine there's more on the left, but.
I mean, yeah, maybe we could win over some rhinos. Do you think we could win over a guy like Paul Ryan with an RFK Trump debate?
Yeah, maybe.
He says he's definitely not voting for Trump, and he might write in an unknown Republican.
Character is too important to me. And it's a job that requires the kind of character that he just doesn't have. Having said that, I really disagree with Biden on policy. I wrote in a Republican the last time. I'm going to write in a Republican this time.
He says character is important to me. It's like Paul Ryan, bro. Did you see what happened under Trump? Did you maybe it was the no new wars that he didn't like? Maybe it was the energy independence he didn't like. Maybe he's not a fan of a booming economy. What more could Trump do to win over rhinos after that last term that he had? Honestly. What more can he prove? It's fascinating to me that Paul Ryan will get on TV and be like, I'm just going to write in a different Republican. I'll figure something out. Do you think he's going to write in himself?
That'd be great.
We'll get one vote for Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
I wonder who that was.
Seriously. Hey, all right. So after, wow.
Whoa.
It's a very surprising turn of events.
Paul's like, see, guys.
Dude, I told you people like me. So in a surprising turn of events, I think the Rolling Stone magazine is actually campaigning for Trump now. I do.
Why?
I'll tell you after the news. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Flash flood warning in effect for much of northern Middle Tennessee, including Davidson, Cheatham, Montgomery, Robertson, Sumner, and Trousdale counties. This is until 11:45 this morning. More rain still falling, and more than 40 tornadoes have been reported in 2 days across 11 states. Here in Tennessee, National Weather Service meteorologist Ryan Houston telling News 2 the ones at night are the most dangerous.
Tennessee, about 46% of our tornadoes happen during the overnight hours. That's why we're third in the nation in tornado deaths. because of those overnight tornadoes. You're also not going to see them.
Yeah, going to have to watch out tonight. Right now in Georgia, an appeals court will review the ruling allowing Fulton County DA Fani Willis to stay on in the election interference case against former President Trump, which could delay the case indefinitely. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionality, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
.35 on Super Talk. My name is Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, Truth Social, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. As long as you don't look like a Russian bot. Some of these profiles.
Yeah, we have very few rules. Just don't look like a Russian bot. I mean, come on.
Some of them I have I'll look at people's profiles and be like, why did you choose 7 digits at the end of your handle?
I know, it's so weird.
I don't get it. So I said, I think Rolling Stones is campaigning for Trump. I do. Secretly.
Ooh.
I think it's
I like this. So it's a little conspiracy action here.
There's a little conspiracy
Love
action.
I love it. We don't usually do those here, but.
No. Birds are real. So Rolling Stone runs this article called Kill List. And you think, oh gosh. Literally what ran through my head. It's just that's what went through my head.
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do? Oh, he's gonna be a dictator on day one. He's not just gonna jail his political opponents. He's got a list. All right, that's where my head goes. Nope. The headline goes on to read: Trump is planning to send kill teams to Mexico to take out cartel leaders. Yeah, I made the same look. So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, Rolling Stone magazine, they're OMB, right? Orange Man Bad. They're part of the OMB crew. So why are they running something that's awesome? Just blew my mind. And then I started thinking, like, are they using this as a negative?
Yeah.
Trump told his allies about his plans to covertly send special forces to Mexico to assassinate drug kingpins, sources tell Rolling Stone. Is that not good? I mean, listen, if Rolling Stone wants fentanyl to keep pouring in over the border and killing hundreds of thousands of Americans, by all means. But they make it seem like this is a negative, in all caps, if he wins a second term in November. Donald Trump wants to covertly deploy American assassination squads into Mexico soon after he's sworn into office again, according to 3 people who've discussed the matter with the former U.S. president. Both during and after his presidency, the presumptive 2024 Republican nominee has floated different ideas for bombing or invading Mexico in response to the American fentanyl crisis and to wage, all caps, war on notorious drug cartels. As president, Trump even thought it was possible to bomb the cartel's drug labs and then potentially pin the strikes on another country, according to his former defense secretary. What was once a fringe notion that senior Trump administration officials quickly moved to shut down has now become a mainstream GOP policy proposal, including among influential Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill and conservative think tanks. Again, I have to ask, are you campaigning for Trump, or do you think that this is a negative? It seems like they unintentionally wrote a puff piece for Donald Trump, because I look at what's happening on the southern border and the drugs that are pouring in. We wouldn't want to take out the cartels? Is that a bad thing? I know that the cartels are also helping facilitate the invasion at the southern border. You know, people are paying the cartel coyotes to get them across the border. Maybe Rolling Stones is worried that they would cut off the flow of newcomers if they took out cartel leaders, possibly. I mean, there would be a lot of unintended consequences if you took out drug cartel leaders, right? I think we can all agree on that. But let's designate them as terrorist organizations. Let's wage war on the cartels. I feel like Americans, we don't want foreign wars. I feel like a majority of Americans would support a war against Mexican drug cartels. No? Like, I know people don't really like sending money to Ukraine, but if we were sending money to go fight cartels in Mexico so that way drugs stop pouring in and killing Americans and ruining our cities, I feel like a lot of people would get behind that. Am I alone in thinking that? Let me know. 615-737-9986. Just last week in El Paso, Texas, in a single week, $1.5 million worth of fentanyl and cocaine was seized. 1.5 million. This is just in El Paso, just in a single week. 11.2 pounds of fentanyl, 113 pounds of cocaine. That's what U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers in the El Paso area ports of entry managed to keep from coming into the country in 1 week. So more is sneaking in that we don't see, and that's just one port of entry. Why would we not want to go after the cartels? Make it make sense. And how is this a negative? How is this a negative for Donald Trump? The seizures in El Paso involved several cases during the week preceding the Cinco de Mayo holiday. Street value of the narcotics estimated at $1.5 million. In a press release announcing those seizures at the El Paso area ports of entry, the CBP's director of field operations for El Paso said, the drugs seized by our CBP workforce will not cause harm in the communities we share, adding, we're hard at work every day, utilizing multiple tools to identify and stop those who attempt to circumvent our inspection process. Again, it blows my mind. Trump wants to take out drug cartels. Okay. Well, all right. Well, what's the Democrats' plan for dealing with drugs and illegal aliens coming over the southern border?
Now, if you're interested in learning more about hosting a migrant family, all you got to do is take out your phone, dial 211. It's as easy as that. You're going to be asked a few questions, things along the lines of how long are you able to host somebody? What kind of space are you available to provide? And Kettering says you can expect that phone call to last about 20 minutes. Reporting live in Denver, Nate Pelt, Fox 31.
Oh, the Democrats' plan is just for you to bring in the newcomers into your own home. That's the best plan that they've offered. And Rolling Stone says going after the cartels is a bad idea. Interesting. Adam in Columbia, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Chris. My personal thoughts on this, and let me preface this by saying this is not my idea. I got this from a guy named Peter Zihan. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. But he makes a great point when it comes to the Mexican border, us being in North America. Mexico and Canada should be protecting our border, not us. And the reason why is the United States, and by extension the United States taxpayer, pay for this big, expensive thing we have called a Navy. And we police the world seas and keep these jokers safe from enemies foreign and abroad just because they're our neighbors. Just for that fact alone, they should be the ones protecting our borders and paying for our own security. And us not sending our troops down there, it should be coming from Mexico, the protection for the border.
I hear you, man, and I appreciate the call, Adam. Thanks. Sharon, who's a member of the Red Pilled Moms Club. Sharon, you're next. You want to talk about the cartels. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that if Trump said all that you had previously commented on, what was wrong with that?
Exactly.
What's wrong with any of it? I'm all in on all those things.
It seems like Rolling Stones is unintentionally campaigning for Trump.
Sounds good to me.
Me and you
not?
both.
I appreciate that. But I think he should do all of that plus some. And don't forget to send a bunch of these illegals back wherever they came from.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the call, Sharon.
Hey, thank you. Bye.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy. What's wrong with going after cartels? Why is this a bad thing? Larry in Clarksville, why is Rolling Stones trying to say that there would be a bad thing to go after cartels?
Well, because the cartels are up keeping Rolling Stones stoned. First of all, secondly, let's look and see how much money the cartels are giving to the Biden campaign and to George Soros. And then thirdly, I'm all about it. Let's send our drones. We have the capability down there to wipe them out once and for all. And if Mexico don't like it, they can kiss my redheaded redneck butt.
I hear you. And it's like, you've had this issue. You're not dealing with it. We should deal with it. In the meantime, hundreds of thousands of Americans are dying every day from fentanyl. Have you seen some of these videos online of what's going on in our major cities?
Yes. And I mean, over 300,000 a year are dying from fentanyl.
Yep.
Let's turn Mexico into glass and pump our own oil too.
Yeah, I hear you, Larry. I do. I appreciate your call, man.
All right, brother. Love you.
Love you too. It blows my mind, though, because it's like every American at this point, I'm sure, has been touched personally by the fentanyl that's coming across the border. And what I mean is that you know somebody that's dealt with this or lost their life to this at this point, right? And if you haven't, God bless you. That is amazing. But me personally, I mean, I grew up in Massachusetts, and I have had numerous friends that I grew up with lose their lives to fentanyl. It's awful. And even like the slow walk to that, where you're mourning the living, is awful too. If we can cut off that supply, why would that be a bad thing? Trump reportedly linked the proposed covert operations to the raid that resulted in the death of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in 2019. The former president also suggested in these conversations that the U.S. government should have a kill list of drug lords that it strategizes to eliminate. Yeah, please. When you peddle death and destruction, don't be surprised when death comes to your doorstep. In 2023, Rolling Stone reported that Trump directed his advisors to compile a list of military options for confronting the Mexican drug cartels. These options include drone strikes, air assaults, troop deployments, and more. Honestly, find me an American that doesn't think this is a good idea. Seriously, Mexican cartels engage in drug smuggling, human trafficking. There's violent shootouts along the southern border. Cartel members along the border are armed with military-grade weapons, as a lot of the leftists like to say. And I think calls for stronger action are warranted and needed. So for them to use this as a negative, it really blows my mind. It really blows my mind. There's other guys in the Republican Party introducing legislation. Tom Cotton introduced legislation in February aimed at pressuring the Biden administration to devise plans for capturing or eliminating leaders of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, known as one of the most brutal and dangerous cartels in Mexico. There are guys out there that are trying to do something for this, but it doesn't seem like Biden has any interest in doing any of this. And it seems like the left-wing media that props him up, they want to make this seem like a bad idea. Jeff in Columbia, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, Chris, I'm not only all in favor of the let's take them all out, but I think that anybody coming across that border that gets caught with any amount of fentanyl or any other major drug should get a death sentence.
Yep. I would back that 100%.
Because we're just allowing it where they're coming in the country, and then they're hooking up everybody else with all their murdering drugs. I've spent my life keeping kids off of drugs, and the drugs are getting stronger and stronger every year.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It really is.
And I mean, like they mentioned at El Paso, so many pounds of fentanyl, so many pounds of coke. Well, the pounds aren't equal pounds because a pound of fentanyl is like 100 pounds of coke.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely, not only take out the cartels via drone, via military coup, whatever. Let's take them out and let's give the death sentence not only to the foreigners coming in, anybody in America caught with any measurable amount of the dope is a death penalty because they're killing others.
Yep, I hear you, Jeff, and I appreciate the call. And it's crazy because like the cartels aren't just pushing the drugs across the border, right? The cartels are bringing the illegal aliens across the border. I talked with Tom Homan some months back. When was this? This was when was back in December. I talked with Tom Homan, former ICE director. And, you know, he laid it all out. He's like, listen, you pay the cartels to get across the border. Nobody coming across the southern border hasn't paid the cartels. So maybe we can slow that flow, too, if we start taking out leadership in the cartels. And we need to do something. Do you know that right now, currently, nearly 1 in 10 New Jersey residents are illegal aliens? 1 in 10. Nearly 1 in 10. This is a report from State Assemblyman Paul Canitra, who's a Republican in New Jersey. He found nearly 1 in 10 New Jersey residents are illegal aliens. It costs New Jersey $7.3 billion annually. The report suggests that illegal aliens account for about 8% of all New Jersey residents, with an estimated 892,000 out of about 9 million residents, all facilitated by the cartels. Make no mistake about that. That's who's paying for this. That's who's facilitating this. That's who's executing this. So when Rolling Stone says, the orange man, he's going to go after the cartels. We can't let him get away with it. Like, I'm already voting for the guy. You don't have to sell me on him. It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at United Structural Systems. Listen, when it comes to large home repairs, a lot of times we put the blinders on, right? We don't want to see the warning signs because we're afraid of what we're going to hear. And that is especially true with waterproofing and foundation repair. It could be something big that needs to be fixed, or it could be a small problem that will become bigger, or on the bright side, it could be nothing. Bottom line, though, we don't know, and we certainly don't want to be sold something we don't need. We need peace of mind, and that's where United Structural Systems comes in. That's what the company gives you, and they have over 25,000 100% satisfied residential customers to prove it. And here's how they made that happen. When USS comes to your house, you're getting problem solvers, right? They provide peace of mind to you, the homeowner, and you're not going to get someone who's worried about meeting a sales quota or upselling the next big thing. You're getting someone who's going to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home. When I talked to the guys at USS, they told me that you don't really even know you need USS until you know you need USS. And they're the guys to call, because at USS, their only measure of success is how satisfied you are, not a closing ratio. And that attitude and culture is the reason that they keep employees year after year, from project managers to customer service to production. Some have even been at USS for over 25 years. You're getting experts at your home. If you have foundation repair needs or waterproofing work to be done, you're going to get that with USS, but you're also going to have the peace of mind knowing that United Structural Systems is going to be honest with you and stand by their work and warranties. It is absolutely massive. If you're having waterproofing issues, if you need help with your foundation, call USS today. They serve Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Online at USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. USSTN.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we've got a crash going eastbound on the interstate in Rutherford County. It's 24 eastbound just past Epps Mill Road there in Christiana. Flash flood warning in effect for much of northern Middle Tennessee, including Davidson, Cheatham, Montgomery, Robertson, Sumner, and Trousdale counties. This is for the next 45 minutes. And more than 40 tornadoes have now been reported in 2 days across 11 states. Here in Tennessee, National Weather Service meteorologist Ryan Houston telling News 2 the ones at night are the most dangerous.
Tennessee, about 46% of our tornadoes happen during the overnight hours. That's why we're third in the nation in tornado deaths, because of those overnight tornadoes. You're also not going to see them.
Overnight tonight, everyone in Middle Tennessee will likely see storms at some point, and they could potentially spawn tornadoes. Right now in Georgia, an appeals court will review the ruling allowing Fulton County DA Fani Willis to stay on in the election interference case against former President Trump, which could delay the case indefinitely. Here's Stephen Portnoy.
The issue is whether DA Fani Willis created a conflict of interest by hiring an attorney she was personally involved with. Both Willis and attorney Nathan Wade insist their relationship didn't start until after he joined her team. But Judge Scott McAfee ruled that despite his doubts that they'd been telling the truth about that, Willis could stay on the case if Wade departed. Now, Donald Trump's appeal of that ruling has been greenlit, and that could mean a significant delay in the Fulton County case.
Money news. The Internal Revenue Service says more than $1 billion is owed in tax refunds from 2020, but the window to get that money is closing soon. May 17th is the deadline for people who failed to file their 2020 tax return to become eligible for a refund. It was a COVID year, so there's no penalty. A state-by-state income tax breakdown sheet shows more than 16,000 Tennesseans are eligible for this refund. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. It is 11:02 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I got to tell you about my friend Paul Winkler and Paul Winkler, Inc. These guys are the best. Your financial future is your responsibility, but you need a little bit of help, and it starts with Paul Winkler. You probably know Paul. He's been hosting his investor coaching show for over 20 years. We run it every Saturday here on WTN from 3 to 6. But he started that show after he spent time studying under an economist who went on to win a Nobel Prize. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's how he cut his teeth. He's also an avid collector of financial planning designations. He has up to 8 now. As you know, I'm a big fan of Paul. He was on my show last week. And when you heard him talking with me, that's the same Paul you're going to get when you talk with him. He'll answer any outlandish question you may have. No question is too big or too small. He'll break it all down for you in a way that you can understand. This is why my wife and I work with Paul. We heard him on WTN before I got a show here. And when I came on board, I knew that I wanted to work with Paul and his team. And it's because they hold themselves the highest level of fiduciary status. Paul makes sure that I tell you I'm paid when I do these commercials. I like the transparency. I like the honesty. Where else do you hear that? I also like that Paul's team does nothing on commission. I say that all the time. They do nothing on commission. You can be sure the advice they're giving you is for you, not for their paycheck. The advice has no effect on their paycheck. It really gives you peace of mind when you're making decisions about your financial future. It really eliminates that uneasy feeling of blind trust. Let Paul's team look at your whole financial picture, and then they'll help you make some decisions. You won't go wrong with Paul Winkler and his team. Just set up a 15-minute phone call today to get started. Go to paulwinkler.com. That's paulwinkler.com.
There he is. Hello, sir. How are you? Welcome to the Chris Hand Show.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
You know what happened?
What happened?
Me and Ken started talking about tornadoes in the hallway.
Yeah.
You know what happened before that, though? I told you, you said you have 90 seconds.
That's what you said?
I said 90 seconds to go take a little pee-pee.
You guys talk to me like that. Not 5.
He's pulling the Dan Mandis on you, man.
I am pulling the Dan Mandis.
It's like Dan Mandis dragging me into that conversation he had.
Right, now everybody's roasting me on the Members Nutrition text line saying I'm late.
Show starts at 9.
Show starts at 9. I thought Morgan McMichael was going to be calling in. No Morgan yet. So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Well, we've got some interesting texts on what you were just discussing. We could talk about that.
We do have some interesting texts. I'm actually pretty surprised. 3449, I want you to call in, and 4565, I want you to call in. I'm very surprised that people are anti going after cartels. 3449 said, I'm all for tyranny if it's to snuff out drug use. You're painful to listen to, man. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. He's talking about you. Okay. The drug cartels are facilitating the invasion of our country. Nearly 1 in 10 New Jersey residents currently are illegal aliens. How is it that I'm all for tyranny to snuff out drug use? These are criminal cartels. And we're just going to let them operate with impunity, leave our border wide open for them to flood us with fentanyl and illegal drugs. And even like the fentanyl is really what gets me, man. The story of the baby in Florida who's at an Airbnb and overdoses on fentanyl because it was left on the carpet blows my mind. This is hurting so many people. It's deteriorating our cities. This is not me being okay with tyranny to snuff out drug use. This is me being okay with going after the enemies of our nation. Actual enemies, not funding wars in Ukraine, not funding Hamas in Iran, but to actually deal with problems that are affecting Americans. Brent in Spring Hill has a comment. Brent, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man?
Hey, I was just thinking about it, and I know I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I know that this is the show to float conspiracy theories, but, Rolling Stone is so lib, I wouldn't be surprised if this is trying to put a target on Trump's back for the cartels.
I hear your theory. I hope that's not the case. I think that they're trying to just demonize Trump any way possible, and they don't realize that the things that they're trying to demonize him with, we're all for.
Yeah, no, I'm big on it. I hope he does it.
All right. Hey, appreciate the call, Brent. Let's go to Blaine. You're next on Super Talk. What's up, Blaine?
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you. What's up, man?
It's Wayne, not Wayne.
Wayne. It's sorry, that's Matt.
Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick comment on the drug cartels.
Yes, sir.
I think part of the reason that Mexico won't do anything about the drug cartels is because most of the Mexican government is in bed with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the other half that isn't in bed with them are afraid to do anything because they don't want their families' heads shipped to them in a shopping bag. So they're afraid to speak up and say anything. My other comment is, as far as the fentanyl coming across the borders like it is, I personally believe that those that are caught coming across with any amount of fentanyl, it ought to be an automatic death sentence. And they shouldn't set for 10 or 20 years, give them 30 days to say goodbye to their families, and then inject them with the same drug that they're bringing across the border. Kill them with their own drug. And that's my comment. Now, it may sound a little radical, but we're living in a wacky, radical world.
Yeah.
And nothing's the same anymore, and it's just like this brain-dead president. If anybody wants to help him, one of the best things they can do for our current president would be send him a sippy cup and a bag of Pampers. I think that would be a real nice gift.
Hey, appreciate
Thank you.
Appreciate the call, Wayne. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, but I'm getting comments on the members nutrition text line of people that think that this isn't the right idea. 4565 texted in. The lazy, unprincipled logic of tradcons is baffling. Tradcons, traditional conservatives. Why is fentanyl a crisis exactly? There's a foolproof way to not ingest it. Don't take illicit drugs, period. Bud, it can be absorbed into your skin. The baby in Florida overdosed. The baby's not a drug addict taking illicit drugs. This is affecting people in far different ways. It's affecting people that don't use drugs. But then he goes on to say, the right was the original group to just say no. Just say no. You won't die of fentanyl poisoning. Yet the modern right clutches its pearls over this and cries out, we must stop the cartels. We absolutely need to stop the cartels. They're facilitating the invasion at the southern border. Nobody crosses without paying money to the cartels, and they're bringing in all of the drugs. Yes, stopping the cartels has to be a priority. Has to be. Cut off the head of the snake. Let's do something worthwhile and go after the enemies of our nation. Yes. 4565 also says personal choices come with consequences. You can't pick and choose which issues the government is going to playground monitor. Ultimately, the crack epidemic of the 90s solved itself. Everyone who used crack eventually died. Why is fentanyl so different? Oh, yeah. All right. You're right. Let's not go after the cartels. Let's leave our southern border wide open. Let's let the illegal aliens pour across because the cartel's facilitating them. Let's let all the fentanyl in. Let's let all of our cities be destroyed. And let's do nothing about it when we could do a lot about it very, very quickly. 9945 says, I think we need to go full Israel on the drug lords. I mean, but they're facilitating so much more than drugs. 0202. Don't forget all the human trafficking they're facilitating. Jason said, as a parent of a 10-year-old, I constantly worry about fentanyl. It's so sad. Yeah. I think everybody is worried about fentanyl. And it's such a change. It's not a kid experimenting with drugs now. That your first experimentation could be your last one if you run into fentanyl. 6211 says, go a step further. I believe most of the fentanyl is provided by the communist Chinese. Well, they're definitely helping. Bobby in Nashville wants to talk about the border. You're next on Super Talk. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, brother, you guys are doing a fine job. I want to get that across to you first, but I want to know what the big deal is. What is so hard about securing the border? All you do is go down there and secure it. We don't have to go through no law or anything like that. It's our border. We're the only country that I know of that has open borders. Let these people go into Russia. Let them go into China or places like that. They're not going to get in. I mean, but yet I don't understand why we want to worry about funding Ukraine when we can't fund our own border. And what are we getting in return for helping Ukraine out? Are we getting some free wheat? We getting some free oil? I mean, what is your point of view on that?
Well, I think what we're getting is kickbacks to our elite politician families, probably first and foremost. And yeah, I mean, we're protecting their border. Their border is far more important than our border. You know, that's just the way it is in this country.
Oh, that's sad.
It really is. It really is. I appreciate the call, Bobby. Right now, the immigration courts, because of Biden, they're overwhelmed. They have 3.5 million cases pending. 3.5 million. Insanity. And those 3.5 million people, they paid their dime to the drug cartels to get them across the border. Make no mistake about that. So Trump's plan to go after the cartels, Rolling Stone runs an article that says, we can't let it happen. But we absolutely should. We need to do something. Otherwise, we're letting the invasion continue, and we're letting our cities deteriorate, and drugs flow in. If we do nothing, then it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. I don't understand how people think that we're being tyrannical to go after the drug cartels. Are they trolling me on the super text line? Those two guys, maybe. Maybe. 2666 said, that 3.5 million number you came up with, is it math in? I could have sworn someone said it was over 20 million. Why only 3 million in the courts? That's the backlog that they have in the courts under Biden. This data is from the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse at Syracuse University. They said they detailed a massive uptick in the number of immigration cases now pending as Biden's Department of Homeland Security releases into the U.S. interior tens of thousands of migrants every week. So this was at the end of March 2024. 3.524 active cases were pending before the immigration court. This is from TRAC's Austin Kocher. By the end of last year, Breitbart News reported the immigration backlog had topped 3 million, and now we're at 3.5. Insanity. And they're not sending their best. They're not sending their best. And then the Dems plan for this, their plan is just take the newcomers into your home. Would you be willing to host a migrant family? That's what they want you to do in Denver.
Now, if you're interested in learning more about hosting a migrant family, all you got to do is take out your phone, dial 211. It's as easy as that. You're going to be asked a few questions, things along the lines of how long are you able to host somebody? What kind of space are you available to provide? And Kettering says you can expect that phone call to last about 20 minutes. Reporting live in Denver, Nate Pelt, Fox 31.
You're going to dial 211 to get a little newcomer family for your home? Also breaking right now, Venezuelan illegal alien Jose Ibarra has been charged in the murder of Laken Riley in Georgia. This is just coming across the desk. The suspect in the murder of the Georgia nursing student Laken Riley, Jose Antonio Ibarra, has officially been charged. According to Fox News, 26-year-old Ibarra is an illegal alien from Venezuela. He was indicted by a grand jury on the counts of malice murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault with intent to rape, 2 counts of kidnapping with bodily injury, 2 counts of aggravated battery, tampering with evidence, obstructing or hindering a person from making a 911 call, and being a peeping Tom. This is all coming after Riley was found dead after she went out for a run along the trails of University of Georgia Athens campus on February 22nd. Ibarra is also accused of going to an apartment at the campus, University of Village Housing Building S, where he peeped through a window and spied upon a staff member with the university the same day he allegedly killed Riley. This is just breaking, and it's going to be updated as we move throughout the day. Again, he was charged with a host of counts. Malice murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault with intent to rape, 2 counts of kidnapping with bodily injury, 2 counts of aggravated battery, tampering with evidence, obstructing or hindering a person from making a 911 call, and being a peeping Tom. He came through the southern border illegally. I guarantee you, Jose Antonio Ibarra paid the cartels to get him across. Without a doubt. Anybody that's coming across the southern border, they are paying the cartels. So yes, going after the cartels, as Trump proposes, is an idea that I can get behind, no matter how much the left-wing media wants to demonize it and say, oh my gosh, can you believe how scary this is? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It's 11:20 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
just in time for lunch. Got a crash in Rutherford County. It's the Interstate 24 eastbound right there at Epps Mill Road. Got a crash there. That's exit 89 there to Christiana. Flash flood warning for a large part of northern Middle Tennessee, including Davidson County. And Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is getting scolded by Republicans for President Biden's policy in Gaza. These stories are more at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 11:24. I'm Chris Hand. Find me on Twitter, True Social, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air. As the weather becomes dicey today, keep it locked right here on Super Talk. We will be able to break in with updates in real time. The whole team is on full notice. We are ready to go at the drop of a hat should anything happen. Pray it doesn't. Pray that it's just a whole lot of, wind, and that's it. But should anything get crazy, we're here for you. We were talking about the Rolling Stone article that says Trump is planning to send kill teams to Mexico to take out cartel leaders, like it's a bad thing. Bob in Franklin says he has a solution to the cartels. What's up, Bob?
Hey, guys. I'm pretty much the same way he feels. We're not getting anything done. We got people coming over here. They're illegal when they cross our borders, right? Mm-hmm. Why can't we send teams of SEALs down there to take out these cartel leaders? It's a tit for tat.
Well, that's what Rolling Stone is saying that Trump is planning to do if he's reelected.
Man, I hope so.
Me too. But I get some pushback. I got a pushback from a texter here saying he's not trolling and that trying to create a prohibition environment for drugs doesn't work and will create a whole new set of problems, including a black market for the cartels.
Yeah, our kids are dropping dead.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't make any sense because we already have a black market for the cartels to operate in. We have to make it less easy for them to operate in those areas.
We got to figure out some way to get rid of them.
Yep.
Stop them from doing it.
I hear you, Bob. Thanks for the call, man. 3449 keeps going. He says, no, I'm not trolling. Prohibition doesn't work. Creates a whole new set of problems, including a black market for the cartels to operate in. The fix is not invading another country to take out drug dealers. If you kill those guys, it will become someone else. Additionally, we pretend the CIA didn't traffic drugs into the U.S. and start the crack epidemic in order to fund black ops. I'm sure they're not doing it anymore, though. Cigarettes are legal. Cigarettes are harmful to people, and it goes down and down and down. Listen, I hear what you're talking about. I never said the CIA didn't help facilitate the crack epidemic, but we're just supposed to sit on our hands. You say that if we try prohibition on these drugs, it's going to create a black market. We're talking about the black market. Fentanyl is not legal. Go in, take out the cartel leaders, take out who comes next, and make it harder for them. Right now, it is not difficult for them to operate the black market in the United States with the wide open southern border. It's very, very easy for them to do what they want to do, from drug trafficking to human trafficking and everything in between. Why wouldn't we want to make it harder for them? I don't understand your pushback. He said legalize and regulate, and it eliminates the black market. Yeah, okay. You guys want to legalize fentanyl and regulate it for tax revenue? I don't think that's going to work out. I don't think that's the move. It's 11:28 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm joined in studio by Chris Spencer. He's running for state senate in Sumner and Trousdale counties. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Chris. How you doing? It's been a while.
It's been a while. I'm looking forward to speaking with you today. What's the latest on the campaign trail?
Well, we're working very hard, and we're just 2 months away, basically, from early voting. So time is flying. I've been doing this since October. I'm excited we're getting close to the end here, and I'm ready for this final push.
What is your focus on in these final months?
Well, my focus is to get on as much media as I possibly can, but really just to get in the face of the voters. I door knock every single day, even sometimes when it's raining. So I may go out today. We'll see what the weather does like. But that's really what it's all about. The voters want to see the candidates, and I'm the only one that's doing that. So hopefully that's going to work out for me.
All right, yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, I haven't heard much from your opponent.
Yeah, I complained that I was on the radio too much. You would think that maybe he would come on and answer some questions.
Farrell Hale has an open invitation if he wants to come on. I would love to host a debate with you two.
I would love to get that debate done.
That would be, let's get some sponsors involved and let's donate some money to charity and do it.
Well, he's actually speaking, I think, in 2 Saturdays at the Women's Republican Breakfast, but there's a but there. All 3 other of our representatives in Sumner County are going to be there, all 4 of them. I don't know why they do that. I spoke last month by myself and took crazy questions all day, but I'll answer them. But to give cover for this man so that he doesn't have to answer questions is kind of weak.
Yeah, we're going to talk with Chris Spencer a little bit more. He's running for state rep in Sumner and Trousdale counties. Looking forward to that conversation. We'll do it after the news with Ken Weaver, which happens right now.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got that flash flood warning now for Davidson County, Cheatham County, Robertson, Sumner. Looks like Montgomery County, also Trousdale County for about the next 15 minutes. That's a flash flood warning. And right now in our nation's capital.
This is obscene. It is absurd. Give Israel what they need to fight the war they can't afford to lose.
That's South Carolina U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham scolding Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin.
If we stop weapons necessary to destroy the enemies of the state of Israel at a time of great peril, we will pay a price.
President Biden halting shipments of 3,500 bombs just as Israel closes in on what it believes to be Hamas' final stronghold. Midday Money News, Jim Ryan watching Wall Street.
Investors hope to extend gains for the Dow Jones to 6 consecutive days. Going into the noon hour, the industrials were 79 points higher. The NASDAQ composite, though, was off 0.25%. The S&P was down a fraction.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
11:35 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I'm joined in studio by Chris Spencer. He's running for state senate in Trousdale and Sumner County. You got a lot of love on the members nutrition text line, Chris, coming in already.
Well, great.
It says 8787 says Chris Spencer is a rabble rouser and anti-business. Big no for me.
Well, I don't know what a rabble rouser is, but been a businessman my whole life. For 33 years, I've ran my own business, started my own business. I am pro-business 100%. I actually want the government out of our lives. You know, I'm actually running to shrink government, which is going to help business. I'm not for illegal immigration for business, but I'm for other things for sure.
I told that person to call in, so maybe they will. And a rabble rouser is a person who speaks with the intention of inflaming the emotions of a crowd of people, typically for political reasons.
Well, I'm just talking about my opponent's record. He's been there for 12 years. I know he did make a statement about me running twice. I've not run twice for this seat. This is the first time I've ran for this seat. But Farrell Hale ran in 2000 for this same seat and lost to a Democrat. He's been involved with this seat for 24 years. And he says he's for term limits.
What would his big accomplishments be in those 24 years?
Well, I haven't really concentrated on that, but I think they have kept taxes low here. We don't have an income tax. And of course, I would have voted for all of those things as well. But he's done a lot of bad things. The fact of the matter is our budget in the last 12 years has doubled in the state of Tennessee. We were at $26 billion when he first went into office, and now we're at $55 billion. He's voted to give $500 million for the Titans Stadium. He voted for $800 million to give to the Ford plant, the electric battery plant. I would rather invest in companies here in Tennessee. I would have rather used that money to help private schools to build infrastructure so that they actually could house children to have vouchers. So I think we would do things much different. He runs to government, and I actually want to run away from government.
I like that. I'm not a huge fan of big government, and he voted against banning the gay pride flag in Tennessee schools.
Well, he didn't vote. He walked out without voting. He was there. Now think about that. So he was there. It was the last couple days of session. He was there. They didn't want to take the courage to vote yes or no, up or down on this bill. So 8 of them basically said, let's walk out and not vote, and defeated that bill because there's a rule that you have to have 17 votes for it to pass. And so they walked out, those 8, and they only had 13 Republicans vote to, eliminate like pride flags in public schools. So we got another year of pride flags and whatever in our public schools. So, of course, I would have voted that down. I only think the flags that we should be having in public schools are the United States flag and our Tennessee flag, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple.
Why would you take a walk for that vote?
Well, I think you ought to ask him on your show and ask him that question directly. I mean, he was there. He could have just up or down. Do you support pride flags in your public schools or BLM flags in your public schools, or you don't? Now, there was some courageous ones that said, no, we just want the Tennessee flag and we want the United States flag, which is the way I would have voted for sure. So, but that was a gift. But that's his real intentions. He's skipped out on many votes. He did not support the porn bill 1944 3 years ago. He decided he was present, but he didn't vote on that as well.
What was that bill?
Senate Bill 1944. John Rich was helping pushing that to get the porn out of our public libraries. And instead of taking a vote up or down, he decided to vote present on that bill. So I will say this. I will always vote up or down, yes or no. I will not skip the vote. If I'm there, I'm going to.
You won't skip any votes.
No, if I'm there, I'm going to vote because that's what we're supposed to do.
Why do we let these guys get by with skipping votes?
I don't know. Well, hopefully we're not letting them. Hopefully we're going to start to put different faces into those seats. Some of these legislators have been there 20, 30 years in the Senate. I mean,
I feel like in the last 20 years, things have changed and the roads have gotten much, much worse.
Yeah, and what they haven't done, well, we didn't pass anything to help illegal immigration this past year. Nothing that would really do anything of any help, relief, if you will, for in regards to illegal immigration. What we need to do as Republicans is we need to close our primaries. We just had an election in Sumner County. We had 2,000 Democrats vote Republican. And I want to close our primaries. I don't want Democrats to be electing our Republican, politicians here in the state. But for some reason, I know Brian Ritchie tried to run a bill again this past year, but for some reason, the establishment Republicans think it's okay that Democrats elect him because they benefit off those votes.
This is wild. I got a text here. First-time texter, 2427. She says, Trousdale County for Chris. What's his position on Moms for Liberty?
Well, I love liberty. So, and I've been endorsed by Moms for America, which is kind of the same thing. So, yes, I like Moms for Liberty, 100%.
Cool. What is the big difference between you and your opponent, Farrell Hale? We're talking with Chris Spencer, who's running for state senate in Sumner and Trousdale counties.
Well, I'm a real conservative Republican, so I want limited government. I want to protect our children. I will not pass laws to allow 9-year-olds to begin taking puberty blockers. I will vote my conscience and my morals and my Christian principles, and I will not allow special interest to creep into my voting. I want to do away with lobbyists. I want to at least minimize them. I agree with when we talked about them. There should be a cap, right?
Yeah.
Like a salary cap.
Like a salary cap in sports.
I think a candidate should have a cap, right? They like right now, Senator Hale's got $500,000 of big pharma money sitting in the bank to spend to get reelected. And I think that is wrong. I think there should be salary caps, if you will, on how much money you can raise from special interests, because we're supposed to be voting what our constituents want, right? And even like in the school voucher that we just went through, Sumner County schools, they did not want the vouchers, and neither did Trousdale County. They did not want the vouchers. And yet, all 4 of our legislators went against that, and they sponsored that voucher bill without doing any type of hearing in front of them or anything. And with a controversial bill such as that, we should be doing town halls, because we're supposed to be representing our constituents and their needs and their wants, not special interests, not because the governor said, I want to have vouchers. And I support the concept of vouchers, but this state was not ready for it. Infrastructurally wise, it's not ready for it. But I certainly wouldn't go against my constituents in favor of special interests.
How much of a grip do the special interests have on Tennessee currently? Like how much of an influence is that in local state politics?
Well, I think it's a huge influence. If you look at some of the senators, they have $1 million or more to spend on their reelection, and then they pass laws to make it very difficult for people that are running newcomers to raise money through PACs. They pass laws that cause their crimes now. So you got to be careful with some of the PAC laws, even though they've had 15 years, 12 years, 20 years of building relationship with these PACs. And I know some great conservatives talk about that we have term limits. You just don't elect these people. That is the term limit. But I think they don't understand that money means a lot to get these people reelected. And so it greatly affects us. For instance, Farrell Hale, he's got, I think 60% of all of his money raised through his 12 years is from special interests. And he's made some very controversial bills with puberty blockers for 9-year-olds. He really promoted everybody taking the vaccine. He actually supported saying that as an employer, that if you didn't get the vaccine, he had the right to fire you, his employees. So I think they greatly, and him being a pharmacist too. I mean, I think it greatly taints his positions.
And if you're getting 60% of your money from special interests, where do your alliances lay? You know,
and most of that's probably out of state.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is out of state. So, you know, I really don't have any PAC money. I would take some PAC money from things that I believe in, like right to life or Second Amendment or something with family values, but I would never accept pharmaceutical PAC, never.
And you have a sheet here. Farrell Hill has accepted a lot of pharmaceutical PAC money.
He has done very well with the pharmaceutical industry.
What kind of money is he getting from these people, and who is he getting the money from?
Well, some of these are at max levels, but that's a lot of money. He took in 100, and not this past quarter, but the quarter before, he took in 110,000, I think, in just in the quarter from PAC money.
So, would you consider him like a big pharma candidate?
Oh, he's definitely a big pharma candidate. He might be the biggest big pharma candidate in the state Senate.
Wow. How do you fight against that?
We just go door to door. We get our message out. We use social media, and it's working. You know, I mean, our message is getting out there. We have people contacting me daily. They had no idea of his voting record with illegal aliens and the puberty blocker and the parental rights. The votes that he's made to allow the vaccines for our children for STD. Without parental consent, never passed, but he voted with that. So his voting record is definitely suspect. That's why the Tennessee Conservative named him the 2023 Rhino of the Year. And those are my words, but that's Brandon Lewis and they called him the Rhino of the Year.
Really?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So you've gotten some big endorsements.
Uh-huh.
Who's endorsed you so far?
John Rich, Riley Gaines, Moms for America, Kirk Cameron, Lee Beeman, Robbie Starbuck.
Were you surprised when these endorsements start rolling in? Or do you feel like that's like hard work paying off?
You know, I think we're not pursuing the endorsements anymore. I'm not too surprised because John Rich is a patriot, you know, and so I consider myself, you know, very similar to John Rich, and he's been tremendous for me. I wouldn't be in this position with name recognition without him. And Riley Gaines, oh my gosh. I mean, I knew a year ago, I told her parents that she would be the most influential woman in America, in all of politics. And she has just been a treasure for the town of Gallatin and Sumner County. She is so strong. I'm so glad of her endorsement. It's just amazing that and for how young she is just steadfast. She is steadfast, and we need more Riley Gaines for sure.
Yes, we could absolutely use some more Riley Gaines. Chris Spencer is running for state senate, Sumner, Trousdale counties. Where can people find you, Chris?
ChrisSpencerForSenate.com, and you can get me on Twitter at SpencerTN18 or on Facebook.
Cool, Chris. What is one piece that you want people to leave with if they're thinking about voting for you before we hit the break?
I'm an honest Christian Republican, and I would never lie to you.
Perfect. It's 11:49 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 11:55 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand, joined in studio by Cameron Smith, who's filling in for Murphy once again today. What's up, Cameron?
Not much. I saw that Van Jones is upset. Did you see this where...
is he perpetually upset?
No. He was here in Nashville walking the steps of the Capitol with two of the trio, Justin Jones and Justin Pearson.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the rank partisanship where the far right and the regular right negotiate with each other instead of with Democrats, to which I responded, that's the reason you need to win elections.
Yeah.
And he was very upset. But he wrote an article about it, he posted it on CNN, talking about the Tennessee 3 and the whole story.
Oh.
And they were walking literally step in step flanked by Jones and Pearson on either side, and they had this look of consternation. It might be performative. I don't know, but I have a suspicion.
And he just posted this article today?
Yeah, it's up. Well, I guess he posted it a couple of days ago, but it's basically his take on, he was a intern for a former Democratic speaker of the House years ago in Tennessee. So he was returning to his roots, and he just cannot believe what he's seen.
It's terrible.
The rank partisanship.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I get it. But come on, give me something else to work with here other than nobody listens to Democrats right now in the Tennessee legislature.
I stopped listening to Van Jones when he said the Trump election was a white lash from America.
Yeah, this was Sunday. He put it up Sunday, March 3rd, and it's been kind of hanging out there. It's what happened to Tennessee.
Did he cry this time?
He just furrows his brow.
I feel like he's cried a couple times.
Well, I just have to show you for the audience. Ow. Sorry, running around. Oh, where'd it go? But the point is, it's got all these shots of, we're at a table.
Wow.
Sitting here looking serious, and this is the Armageddon walk.
Oh, yeah.
The Capitol's in the background. Van Jones in turtleneck. Justin Pearson is wearing a terrible tie, by the way.
Hey, what's up with that tie?
It's an actual longer tie, I think.
Did he cut it or tuck it into his shirt or something?
It looks like a cutoff tie. I don't know what it is, but the bottom line is he has a very serious face because reasons.
Reasons.
Yeah.
So you're going to dig into this on the show today?
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. I keep trying, and you guys have asked me not to talk about Kristi Noem anymore, but it's her fault. She keeps staying in the news. And once I saw a cat hit and flipping around in the middle of the road, this is much like that.
Yeah.
Watching her just languish. We've got the Stormy Daniels testimony that I think resumes tomorrow that basically is a porn novella about Donald Trump that is irrelevant to the case. Sweet. I was going to give everybody a case status update of all the different litigation, kind of where they are, what's going on. And, Joe Biden was late to the party again on anti-Semitism, but he had a speech. It was neat.
That's nice. Did he mention Islamophobia as well?
No, he did it at the Holocaust Museum and was just sort of like, hey, I'm going to say some things after all the things have already happened. Way to go, Joe.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
A day late and a dollar short, Biden 2024. Cameron Smith is filling in for Matt Murphy. So send in your texts to the Members Nutrition text line. Call in 615-737-9986. It's going to be a fun day. If weather should get hairy, we have the whole team standing by, monitoring the situation. We'll have it for you here on WTN.